All right. So let's get started. A little bit of back therapy this morning. Hopefully everybody had a good weekend. Let's lie down on our backs and grab our yoga blocks. From lying on our backs with the knees bent, place the block between your knees and thighs in the most narrow position. Let's bring awareness to our low back. And if our low back is tensing or if it's cramping in any way, we could always take that block out to the next widest position. That could help to alleviate some pressure in the back. If it's still not feeling comfortable, you could take it out to the very widest position. So you can think of it as like, I like to call it the Goldilocks and the Three Bears effect. You can find where it feels like there's not enough work. Where is there too much work? Where does it feel just right? Once we find that space, let's put both hands on our stomach so we can begin to monitor the breath. As we inhale, allowing the belly to rise, so we're filling the lowest parts of the lungs, maximum volume. And then exhale, relax your jaw, really let it go. Our most powerful tool is our breath. The way we breathe affects the body and the mind. It regulates stress response, tension, physically, mentally, emotionally. Inhale into the lowest parts of the belly. Hi, Larry, good morning. Exhale, claw breath. At least a couple more. Big inhale. Bigger exhale. Now, at any time, we can return to this breath and to this position. This is considered our home base for working on the breath and alleviating pressure in the back and the body. Let's add in a contraction only when we exhale. Inhaling into the lowest part of the belly and the lungs, feeling the stomach rise. Pause, squeeze that block as hard as possible with the inner thighs, and try that exhale from the throat. Thighs relax on the inhale, breathing in through the nose as much as possible. Hard squeeze on the exhale. Inhaling, soft on the knees. Squeeze really hard, exhale. At least a couple more. So hopefully we're beginning to introduce just a different pattern of breathing coupled with that inner thigh and pelvic floor contraction. Just one more. Soften through the thighs and knees, big inhale. And now contract, exhale. From here, let's take our palms up towards the sky, keeping a healthy bend in the elbow joints. Inhale, sweep the hands back as if you're painting the ceiling. And now trying to paint the back wall. Let your ribs and middle back lift up off the floor. Push your hips and tailbone down. And your chin is going to come into your chest a little more. It's like a restorative fish position. Now bring the arms up. You're painting the ceiling. Lower the middle and back ribs down. Lift the tailbone a little bit. And then press the hands all the way down to the floor beside the hips. Flowing the arms. Inhale, arms come up. Hips press down. Ribs come up. Paint the back wall. Inhale, lift. Lower the middle ribs. Lift the tailbone. And press the hands down. Larry, you know the deal. We already talked about this. When your phone is up, you have to get up and do a little dance. Inhale, lift. Lift the ribs, chin to chest. Exhale, pull the ribs down. Lift the tailbone up a little bit. So we're rocking through the rotator cuff, rocking through the scapula. Keep that rhythm. Rocking back and forth through the pelvis bone and loosening up. The whole spine is going to get kind of slinky between the shoulder girdle and the hip girdle. Let's do a few more. Inhale, back with the arms, tailbone rocks down, elbows Reach, exhale, ribs down, tailbone lifts a little bit. Just one more, inhale, rock the hips down, lift the ribs. And then exhale, ribs relax, tailbone is at a very tiny tilt up. And then palms go down. Let's squeeze with our inner thighs, lift the heels, and maybe walk the toes in closer towards the hips. Continue to squeeze the knees, sweep the left leg off the floor. So maybe the calf comes to parallel with the floor, or we might extend that leg so that it's extending beyond 45 degrees. Keep squeezing the knees in. Now flatten the foot, and you're gonna curl it down for a count of 3. Hamstring curl, keep squeezing the knees. 1, 2, 3, and now tap the toe down. Let's extend our right leg. Push down onto the hips, or maybe put your hands on both of your pelvis bones so that you keep both pelvis bones flush to the floor. Option 2, extend that right leg a little more. Keep squeezing and rolling the thighs in. Squeeze in with the knees. It's all about attention to the midline. We call this a medial or deep inner line of fascia connection. Let's flatten our foot, push through the heel, slowly curl it in. 3, 2, 1, toe tap down. Let's do a couple more on each side, and if you want, you can speed it up a little bit. Extending the left leg, press down into the left pelvis, press down to the right pelvis. So we're stitching up those muscles in the low back. Flat foot, pull it down, tap the toe. Right leg extension, stitch up those muscles in the hips. Flat foot, pull it down. Just one more on each side before we progress this. Inhaling, left leg extension. Flat foot, curl it down. Keep squeezing in with the knees. Both heels are lifted, right leg extension. Keep squeezing in. Flat foot, curl it down. Both heels are lifted, toes are walked in. Push off the toes, bring the knees towards the chest. Option to hold on to the sides of the thighs. Relax the feet a little bit. Keep squeezing the block. Let's extend the legs straight up towards the ceiling. And now soften the foot. So maybe it's not a completely flat foot, and it's not a completely pointed toe. It's somewhere in between the two. Once we find that comfortable position in our ankles and feet, we definitely are avoiding any cramping in the feet. Once you find that healthy position where you're avoiding pain, activate through the ball of the foot. So spread your toes out as wide as you can like a duck and start pushing through the inner ball of the foot, that mound of flesh just below the big toe. Now push with the outer edge of your pinky toe. With the feet active, lower down, start to lower the legs and bend the knees parallel to the floor. So your calves are going to be parallel to the floor while your knees are pressing away from your belly. At any time, if you're noticing pain or excessive strain in the stomach or back, draw the knees over the hip line so that you stack the joint and bring it to neutral. From here, push straight out again, pressing out, knees away from the belly, pull the knees in. So you're activating a knee bend with a hinge at the hip, opening up your hip flexor. You can hold on to the edges of your yoga mat. Sometimes I hold on for dear life when I strengthen these muscles. Take a look at the feet and imagine you have a yoga block between your feet and your knees. You know who you are. Separate the feet. I'm not going to say anything, but it starts with a T and it ends with an I. Okay? Let's extend out. Keep the feet open, rotate those knees in, pull the knees in, press out, keep those feet separated, knees in, pull it in. We're gonna do like 3 or 4 more, so please go. Move with the pace where there is plenty of time to attention to detail. We are definitely looking at quality. That's right, I'm watching you. Quality over You think I'm not watching because I'm laying on the floor? I'm contorting my neck into all different ways so I can watch everybody. Okay, attention to detail, quality over quantity. Just one more. If it starts to get achy in your hip and lower stomach, you're probably doing it right. And then bring it in. Okay, let's take that block out from between our knees and put it off to the side. Take the feet out wider than the hips, wider than hips width, maybe even to the width of the yoga mat. Let's take our hands out so the palms are facing down and our hands can be out, extended from the shoulders, or they could be a little lower. If there's any neck pain, lower the hands a little bit. Let your knees sway over to the right with the next exhale. And now inhale, bring the knees to center. Exhale, knees sway over to the left. And use that breath. Every time we have that deep sigh, that sigh of relief, the body has an opportunity to release all sorts of muscular tension, musculoskeletal tension. Sighs of relief. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. One more each side. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. Look to the left while the knees are going to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. Knees to the left. Look over to the right. Inhale, center. Walk the feet in so that the toes and the knees are touching. Let's draw both knees towards the center of the chest, holding on to the sides of the thighs or the backs of the knees. Add in a small rocking motion side to side. Notice if your ankles are crossing over, uncross the feet. When you're ready, come to center, lower the feet. Let's roll over onto one side, taking our time to slowly press up, sweeping our legs around, adding in a little bit of a lift underneath the hip joints, either a blanket, roll up the back of the mat. The higher we lift the hips, chances are the deeper we will need to bend the knee joints. Don't be afraid to bend your knees. There's no gold medal for a straight leg stretch. Say that right. No gold medals. From here, let's take our block from beside us and place it between the knees and thighs. Our body already practiced strengthening the low back and hips from lying down. Now we're gonna recruit a little more spine musculature. Bring the fingers back. Remember, you want the fingertips forward or they can go a little bit out to the side. Let's squeeze the block. Take a look to see that the width between your feet is the same as the width between your knees. If you ever are interested in trying this, actually, we're going to do it next week. We'll do it next week. We'll put a yoga block between the feet and the knees, and it's fun, right, Terry? It's great. It really does activate. Wasn't that inspiring? That was as inspiring as a Celine Dion song right there. Okay, from here, lift. 1, 2, 3. Good. Surprise breath, because we want to have as many of those muscles pulling away towards our ear, from the ears to your hips. Squeeze, kick with one leg, and then bring it down. Let's just walk in place a few times with our feet. Walk in place, right? Now, as we're priming these muscles, what will naturally happen is, chances are it wants to go out to the side, wants to little can out to the side. Think about moving out with your heel without moving your foot. So it's a little bit of a side kick with the side of the ankle. You're kicking out with the side of the ankle, not the side of the foot. And you might even start to notice that you're going to rock on the hips a little bit. So when I kick with my right,
I can lean on my left hip a little bit and kick it out to the side. And then bring it to center. Lean into the right hip, press it off to the side, and center. Good. Kick it to the side, and center. Side kick, and center. Good. Dun, 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 dun. Make your foot flat when you kick. Kick out to the side with your ankle, and heel. Okay, now, straight ahead, hold it, point the toe. Notice it feels different. Right? It's gonna pucker up your upper quadricep. Bring it down. I didn't say it feels good, it just feels different. Let's lift, point, flex, and down. Again, lift, point, flex, and down. Act surprised. Lift, point, flex, and down. Lift, point, flex, and down. Again, lift. Now keep alternating if you want. You can try leaning back. You can try coming onto your elbows. If you want, relax your jaw joint. Relax. Okay, bend your knees deep. And lift and down. Good. Lift and down. Keep it going. Lift and down. Lift. Now, if you want, it's lift and down. All right. Now, at any time, go back to alternating. We don't want to rush into any movement too quickly because our body likes small increments of change. It appreciates opportunities to ease into these adaptive movements. When you're ready, practice it. So maybe it's like you do one and then you alternate. Or maybe you repeat it 2 times, right? So maybe you do a little lift, down, lift, down, and then you alternate. Keep kicking out with that heel. Start pushing the heel to the side when you do this. Let's try 4 more of whatever feels right for your body. 3, out with the heels, 2, flat foot, 1, and then push off and come to center. It's an ab workout mixed with an upper quadricep workout. And if you feel it here, there's kind of a conundrum here. This muscle gets really tight, but it's not necessarily strong. So it can be tricky for us to strengthen that. Y'all feel okay? Was it all right? Yeah. Okay, let's stretch it out then. Let's bend our left knee. Option to cross it over your right leg. And if you want, bend your right knee also. You can kind of lean over to one side if you want. If there's a lot of space under the hips, maybe put your yoga block there and then sit over onto your yoga block. So that block can go under your left hip to support you and give you a little lift. Take your right hand up. Take that out.
That's better.
There you go. You got it now. All right. So first, reach like you're reaching for 100 helium balloons. Big inhale. And now reach over. Good. Hold it there. Look over to the left. Close the eyes. Think about pulling the right shoulder back or press your left shoulder towards me. Press your left shoulder just a little bit towards me. Big inhale and exhale. So sometimes when there's tight muscles running diagonal in the body, it'll throw your hips out of whack. So we're trying to manipulate your shoulder girdle. Big inhale. Remember to smile. Everyone. It got real serious in here. All right, let's take the hand down. Woo! Okay, shake it out. And let's do the other side. Right leg crosses over. Left knee bends if you want. Option to add extra cushioning under the hip if there's a lot of space there. There you go. From here, left arm up, leaning a little bit over, and then bring it back to center. Big inhale, reach. Pull up out of the hip, out of the ribs. Press the left shoulder back. Push your right shoulder towards me, just a little bit. Right shoulder towards me. Let's look over to the right with our gaze. Big inhale into the upper chest. And then exhale, take it over. Relax your jaw. Ah, it starts with an L and it ends with a Y. Relax your jaw.
I can't get this arm over, just won't.
Okay, but relax your jaw. Ah. Big inhale. And exhale. All right, take the legs out. Extension, shake it off. All right, lean back a little bit, bend the knees. Separate the feet to the width of the hips, or however wide the knees are, keep the feet the same width. Relax your left leg. Let it hang out. We've been practicing this one now for weeks. Some of you months. Pull the bone into the hip. Pull that right hip bone in and back. Maybe lean back a little. See that the edge of your foot would be flush with an imaginary wall. And now hover. Only ½ an inch or an inch. Relax. Yes, good. Craniosacral connection is a real thing. For people that don't believe in it, get them into a back class and just look at everybody's jaw. Right? We're working our backs today. All right, hold it there. It probably is going to start to shake a little bit. It'll start to quiver. That is a natural response to this particular muscle activation technique. There's a lot going on here, a lot of physics going on in this. From here, relax, bend both knees, imaginary wall on the outside of the left foot, relax the right leg. Right leg can hang out any way that is comfortable, any way at all. Pull the left hip in, lift, tiniest lift possible, tiniest lift possible. The more you hover, the more challenging it is. When we kick it up, there are larger muscle groups that are going to kick in and it's going to pull on your back when you lift it really high. So just a tiny lift, moderation. When we practice moderation, that's a yoga practice. It's called Brahmacharya, the practice of moderation in all things. What do I need more of? What do I need less of in my life? Act surprised. So we keep a posture. If you want to test it out a little bit, lift your hands. Kind of test it, see where your body is today. Look, if you're doing this, you're not thinking about your hips. So that's what this is for, right? All right, when you're ready, lower down, shake it off. All right, let's take our time bending the knees. We're coming around into all fours. From all fours, we might use our yoga block. Let's clear our mat, making sure we do have our block. I have my left hand on the block. I'm tucking my right toe under, stepping my right foot forward. And then as I shift forward, I'm pushing off, bringing my block up with me between the knees and the thighs. From where we are, inhaling, arms go back and around, big inhale, open up, reach towards the sky, option to look up, or at least shift the eyes to where the wall meets the ceiling in the mirror. So we don't have to actually lift the head, we can just move the eyes, tracking. Look ahead for a moment, see that the knees and feet are at the same distance. So maybe if the feet are here, walk the feet in just a little more. From here, shifting forward and back, giving our body a little bit of feedback as to where the center of gravity is when you shift. This is important because shifts happen. You're welcome. All right, shifting forward and back, shifts. Shifting forward, toes are spread, knees are soft, chest is lifted. This is fun. Big inhale, reach. Good. Bend the knees, hands come down onto the thighs, push your hips back, feeling a spread in the buttocks region, intergluteal cleft. From here, walk the hands past the knees, maybe a little bit of pressure into the shins. Fingertips are facing down towards the feet. Big inhale, exhale, relax the back. As we relax the upper back and spine and hang loose, press more into the inner blade of the foot, especially into the ball of the foot. If it feels right for you, let the fingertips and arms dangle towards the floor. So maybe we begin to encourage a little more length in the back of the legs. Another option is to bring your right hand onto your left forearm and then the left across to the right. So you're holding on, feeling as if the elbows are dragging us down towards our feet. Taking a big breath and come up just a little bit. And now exhale, drag down to the floor. Inhale, up a tiny bit. Exhale, big drop. Just one more. Inhale, come up. Exhale, big drop. Hands come onto the shins again, keeping the knees bent. Hands come onto the thighs, bringing us to a flat back, reaching our hands behind us with the palms facing down, low back strengthener in airplane position. Inhale, palms flip up, turn the thumbs back, flip the palms up and come up to standing, looking up. Exhale, take the hands down, meeting in traditional mountain position. Let's try all that just a little faster. It's going to test your blood pressure, your center of gravity, and it's going to test the stabilization in your low back. Inhaling, arms overhead. Begin shifting forward and back. Either eyes to where the wall meets the ceiling, or look up at the ceiling tiles. Little lift of the heels and hold, extended mountain. Drop the heels, exhale, swan dive, hands to the thighs. Flat back. Inhale, exhale, fold forward a little more. Option to let the hands hang, maybe cross the arms. Big exhale. Hands to the thighs, push up, come up halfway. Arms out, airplane, knees are bent. Flip the thumbs back, palms up, inhale, reach, extended mountain, exhale, hands go down to the side. One more, inhaling, arms up. Shift and find a steady gaze. Where the wall meets the ceiling or up at the sky, lift the heels and hold, just enough to swipe a credit card under the feet, not too much of a lift. Brahmacharya. Drop the heels, swan dive, all the way down. Hands can be on the thighs, on the shins, crisscross, or down to the floor. Your body gets to choose. When you're ready, let's come up halfway. Hands could be on the thighs or the shins. Airplane position, thumbs facing back, palms down. Inhale, push into the feet, reach up. Big inhale, and then exhale, relax. Chair flow. Inhale, arms go back and around. Palms forward, back and around again. Palms up. Pull the shoulder blades back and sit back. Option to lift the heels just a little bit, not too much. Drop the heels. Inhale, reach up. Option to look up. Feet are flat. Exhale, back and around. Palms facing up. Bend the knees. Pull the elbows and shoulder blades back. One more. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale, back and around. Palms up. Shoulders back. Hinge from the hips. Remember to smile. Advanced version of everything. Inhale up. Exhale, halfway down. Take the block down towards the mat. We don't need it. Hands on the hips. Let's take it over to the right. Softly drag that left foot in. with the left heel lifted. Holding it here, we're moving into the softest, most conservative expression of tree pose for balance. Keeping the knee forward if you actively feel pain in your left hip right now. Otherwise, maybe swivel the knee out, resting the left heel on the inside of the right ankle. So right now, we like to call this like a baby tree or a sapling expression. Relax your jaw, check in with the muscles in your face. They will always say what's going on tension-wise in your body. Notice if you feel more balanced here, or if you want to take your hands away. Neither is more advanced. It's a matter of each of our unique nervous systems. Where do we find spatially, where do we find we feel the most centered? Option to stay wherever you are, or maybe slide the foot in so you're on your tippy toe. So once we come off the ball of the foot, we're not sending these messages to the low back through the sciatic nerve that we would normally be sending with pressure. So sometimes we feel a little wobbly. You can slide the foot up, so you're pushing the ball of the foot down onto the inside of your leg. Look down. Imagine if you had an egg on your head, you want the egg to roll off. So looking down. When you're ready, lower both feet, step into both feet a few times. So we're giving the body some sensory information, fully supported on both feet. When you're ready, take the weight into the left foot. Looking down, I recommend if you find a gaze, in yoga, it's pretty specific. We say if you go past your cheeks at about 45-degree angle, past the tip of your nose, there's a point of intersection with this gaze. And it's gonna rest down on the floor in front of you. This is for the optic nerve, it's for balance. In yoga, we call it drishti. Let's lift our right heel and walk the foot in to find the midline. Find where the arms want to go. Plenty of time to experiment so that we give ourselves some perspective. If we take our arms out, maybe close the eyes, how does it feel? Hands on the waist and hips, close the eyes, how does that feel? When we close our eyes is when we really see what's going on with the body. Option to swivel that right knee out to the side, pressing the right heel to the inside of the left ankle. Find your breath, find your breath. All of the power, all the beauty in this is in the breath. Option to slide onto the tippy toe. So we're just very gently weaning the body off of those, maybe those resources, those supports that are physical. Maybe sliding the foot up onto the leg, knowing that we never have to lift that foot off the floor. Affirming, I'm strong, I'm rooted, I'm connected, mind, body, and spirit, connection. When you're ready, lower both feet, step into both feet, just a little bit of marching, little bit of sensory support. When you're ready, come to any easy standing position, light in the knees. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead. Exhale, swan dive down. We can use our block if we have it handy. Today I have it under my right hand. I'm reaching my left hand towards the floor as I step my left foot back. Finding an all fours position. I'm taking both my feet to one side. Taking our time to lie down on our sides.
then rolling over onto our backs. This is where it all began today. From here, let's take our left knee in towards the chest, holding on either behind the knee or onto the sides of the thighs. We can always inch our right leg out, beginning to straighten the leg. I like to use my toe to slowly inch out, maybe eventually straightening that right leg, but it's not required. Keep holding on with the left hand, taking our right arm, painting the ceiling. This is where our warm-up began. Reaching back with the right hand, only as far as our shoulder or neck is in agreement with this. Return the right hand to the inside of that left knee or left thigh. Right hand stays, inhaling, left arm comes up, painting the ceiling, and then maybe painting the back wall. This stretches from the left fingertips through the left armpit, and then it jumps across to the right hip and down the right leg. Both hands onto the left leg for support. Let's slowly begin to bend the right knee and slide that right foot into the floor. Lower the left leg down. Let's slowly draw that right knee in, hands on the sides of the thigh or behind the leg for support. Inching our left leg out, just a tiny bit. We could always pause and lift the left toe. Notice how that feels, and then push through the heel to straighten the leg a little more. Keep holding with the right hand. Left arm extension. Reaching back. Left hand goes onto the right thigh. Right arm extension. Push through the left foot, through the left hip, and then stretch from the left hip to your right armpit. Right hand onto the right leg, both hands supporting our thigh. Let's slowly bring that right knee in, dragging that left foot onto the floor. Right foot goes down, arms reaching overhead. This is where it all began. Little lift of the ribs, pressing the tailbone down, restorative fish expression. Stretching from the lower pelvis to up under your rib cage. The collarbones and sternum are lifting. You might even feel the chin bearing down into the chest a little bit. Big breath into the center of the chest. Exhale, let the arms come down. Relax the middle back and low back. Option to touch your knees together and walk the feet out for final resting position. Or straighten the legs. Or any other positioning on your legs is just fine. Moving into any position where we suspect the body has the most comfort. Let's take this to the breath. Both hands can be out to the side with the palms up, maybe hands on the belly so that we feel a rise and fall in the navel. This week being week 5, we focused on the neck and the throat. So turning the head in unique positions, noticing when we lift the chin or lower the chin. The energy of the throat in energy medicine is known as Vishuddha. It's a bright turquoise blue light that represents this energy. Mentally, this regulates truth, not exclusive to the sense of what is true or what is a lie, but truth as in even what is right for me, the discernment element. Deepen the breath in the body, and maybe simply affirm, for my body, for my life, I know what is right for me. Trusting that little inner voice, that intuition. When you're ready, wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, and allowing the body to simply tell us how it wants to transition. Which knee will bend first? As we move into a gentle sway, we can twist to the left or right, inviting just a little more movement from the hips up through the spine. When our body is ready, we're taking our time to roll to one side. And it is recommended that we take a couple of breaths here in the side lying position before we come up to seated.
In the practice of sound yoga, nada yoga, the sound used to balance this energy in the throat is the sound hum, H-U-M. And it doesn't work exclusively with the throat. There's a belief, we are taught in therapy that the vibration loosens the muscles in your jaw, and it has the potential to loosen the muscles in the inner ear that can get a little tense with just stress or chronic pain. When those muscles are tense, we usually aren't hearing everything, or we're not picking up on everything when we're in conversation. So it can affect comprehension. So you're welcome to just hum with me one time. And when we do the humming, if you cup the hands over the ears, at first it's like holding a seashell up. It's like a hollow sound. We're just gonna take one big breath and hum. Big inhale. Hum. The stillness after the hum, if you kind of feel that, sometimes we call it the pranava. It's that residual stillness that comes from the sound creating order. And there's a belief that in that space and in that stillness, there's infinite possibilities. From here, we can bow to close, hands to the heart, namaste. Bye, Judy. We miss seeing you in class.